The following is a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. Hollywood Redefined. From Los Angeles, California, streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is Black Hollywood Live, the Black Tea Party, featuring weekly discussions on political news and current affairs. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood Redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host of Black Hollywood Live, the Black Tea Party.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
What's up, you guys?
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Black Hollywood Live, Black Tea Party. I'm Anthony Martin. My Twitter handle, Instagram is Black Fist Activist. Come check me out. Who we got over? I haven't seen y'all in a while, man.
We have like almost the full crew.
I know. What's up, you guys? It's your host, Stacey. You can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace. So happy to be back with the coolest guys on the block. Missed you guys. What's up?
I miss you too. Thank you. I'm just smiling at you.
Stop that. Introduce
What's
yourself.
happening, guys? I'm here, Don's Daily Dose on Twitter, and just follow me anywhere. Follow the craziness.
All right.
T-Ma.
Hey, what's up, guys? Michael T-Ma here.
As it's
Spell on the I forget that there's audio though, because I got a couple people like, hey, MIHKELTEEMA. I want to get famous enough that people don't ask me how to spell my name. That's all, or mispronounce it. They see it and they're like, Michael? Oh yeah, okay.
One day.
That's my only goal for fame.
Next week.
Well, everybody, I mean, what shall we talk about? It's been a while since I've been back, so, I'm catching up on all my political news and knowledge. But I think one of the biggest things is the presidential debate.
Yeah.
Again,
Comedy Central special number 2.
It was 3 hours of just complete
Foolishness.
I don't know. I was looking at the screen like today. I was rewatching it. And I was just like, God, this is crazy. Like, this stuff's still happening, and Donald Trump is still in the front. Like, why?
It's foolish. Like, remember when we got together months ago and we were like, it's Jeb Bush and Clinton.
Yeah,
It's still going to be Jeb
Now,
Bush and Clinton.
I'm not saying that it won't, but I'm saying, like, all those theories they're not as strong to me anymore. It seemed really easy to say those two. Now there's like all this other
You were
stuff.
drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not drinking it. I'm just understanding that it's there.
So
Okay.
let's talk about the debate. Look, what did everybody think about this last Republican presidential debate? How did we feel about that? What were some highlights to you? Mike, you seem like you got something to say. What's up?
Well, I really liked how CNN started with being super happy there was a plane in the background. That was a great start to the debate. And then Trump starts his thing with dissing Rand Paul. I thought it was a WWE match at first.
Yes.
The way it was set up and the way nobody followed. Why have debate moderators if they're not going to follow the rules?
Yes,
Why?
absolutely.
Seriously,
I agree.
nobody took that 60 seconds to heart at all. Thank you.
No cutoffs.
Okay, thank you.
No fact checking. Moderators are like the Carly Fiorina thing. At this point, I can't believe I agree with Fox News because the whole Planned Parenthood thing is total hogwash. It's been proven it's hogwash. She keeps saying it like fact. Even Fox News was like, "Lady, settle down. This is not true." And that's still. But nobody in any of the debates stopped these guys with any facts like a moderator should at some point.
Okay, is it just me? Are there like way too many people on these debates? Like, is it usually like 10, 9, 11? Is it that many people?
They're
usually?
lined up forever.
I think I said
Too
this.
much. I was like, there should be 5 of you. I'm really distracted.
Well, I said this on like a previous show, and I think that is all a ploy for the Republican Party. I think that they are having all these people run the presidential race to get the momentum, to get the viewers to look at it,
To look at Republicans
to look at them instead of look at the Democrats.
Okay.
And so all the focus is on them. So you got to think about it this way. Okay, so we're watching the Republican debate, and all we see is Republican.
Right.
Somebody that's on the fence might hear something they like out of these thousands of Republicans that are running for president, and then be like, "Oh, okay, I like that." And I think that's a
don't
good
step
idea.
in and use any logic.
I think it's possible because it it's become a lot more entertaining than it has been in the past years. So now I'm watching it for jokes and for funny and for tweet reasons, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So you're right. I am looking at the debates, and I'm a lot less bored because of the people that are in it.
But I think that's a threat, though, because
it's a problem for sure.
It's a threat because
to Republicans.
I think it's a threat just to the whole
democracy,
the constitution of politics and the whole campaigning.
Yes,
because I think that it's become more entertainment.
Absolutely.
That the more substantive characters that may be in this campaign for the Republican Party, we're not paying attention to. They're not rating.
Absolutely.
It's all about,
absolutely.
It's turned into TMZ. I was watching CNN today, and see, like, I have it on in the background because it's useless. Because for all the time, they didn't go to, today there were all kinds of things we're probably not going to get to on the show that were important. Like, there was a handicapped guy who was shot by cops today. Did they break Pope Francis's coverage of what he'll be doing tomorrow for this? No! Let's keep going with Pope. The news is a joke. Yeah. I think that's what these debates showed. We don't have real media.
Well,
but America's bought into
again. That's
taking.
They're using that to take away from the race, because they know if you're just hearing the facts, if you're just hearing what's going on, you're going to be like, no, these Republicans are crazy. But because they're using the entertainment aspect of it, we're focusing so much on them. So after they pick the nomination, that's when they're going to really get into work and start doing what they plan. It's all a play. I feel like this is
what you're saying. But what if the wrong people get to the?
Yeah,
you don't think the wrong people will get to?
No, they're not.
It'll be the same.
So Republicans are crazy, but they're not stupid. They're not going to
I don't know.
No, they're not going to put...
I'm not saying it'll be Donald Trump. I'm just saying,
that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be Donald Trump, and it's going to be, like it always was going to be, either Bush or it might be Farina.
Let me tell you,
she was balling out of control on that debate. She might not have had all the facts that maybe.
Bush who's fact checking?
You do not wipe out Donald Trump here. He is not a candidate that I would support, but you cannot, because Donald Trump has brought this whole element of entertainment. It speaks to a large majority. They've never had an audience of this many tuned in.
Give a crap about the Republicans.
Republican campaign. It was more than 30 million people tuned in, and even almost double that after.
Let me read.
They went back and watched it again.
And I'm sad that this is true. But this is true.
Let me read something.
I'm scared that people will run to the polls trying to, vote for the hair. I just believe they'll do that.
This is a quote from a Donald Trump rally. Here we go. Ready?
Go ahead.
This is the question. How will you bring back the American dream? Pretty straightforward question. How will you, housing be it? Look, we can bring the American dream back. That I will tell you. We're bringing it back, okay? Oh, okay, settled. And I understand what you're saying. And I get the from so many people, is the American dream dead? They are asking me the question, is the American dream dead? And the American dream is in trouble. That I can tell you, okay? It's in trouble, but we're going to get it back and do some real jobs. What does that mean?
So good point.
What does that mean?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
So good point, Mike.
This guy's leading.
Good point, Mike. So let's talk about Donald Trump. And I've said this before because I'm opposed because he doesn't have any substance to him. And Don, I think you said you don't, I told him he needs to come up with plans. He needs to have issues in line of what he needs to do. Yeah. I think the last show that we were talking about it, you were like, you said he shouldn't come out all at once in the beginning. Now, it's not the beginning anymore. And he's still talking about, I think there was one thing, let's see, what was he talking about? Something that he didn't know too much about. Oh,
everything.
He was talking about foreign policy. And he was like, and he was like, yeah, foreign policy's bad, and I'm telling you, it's real bad. But when I'm gonna change it because it's bad, and all these other people, and I'm just like, okay, it's bad, but what are you gonna do? And he's not doing nothing, and I think that was his downfall. And to circle that around, I think as far as this debate goes, I think he tanked because when they did start talking about foreign policy, when they did start talking about when they started talking about, he was so quiet, or he didn't make any sense talking about it.
If I wanted a casino in Florida, I would have had a casino in Florida.
And that's what I'm saying. And I think people watching that noticed, like, okay, he don't know what the hell he's talking about anymore. And I think that's going to make him lose that momentum that he's getting.
But he's brought a sense of reality to the political
conversation.
It's interesting. He's brought a reflection of what the Republican Party is.
He's being very real. Reflection is a really great word. He's bringing reality. He's talking about things that people don't usually talk about on the political platform.
Like what?
And, he's bringing out things. He's talking about the inconsistencies of people's character and what they do, and he just throws it right out there.
But that's not something that Donald Trump came up with.
No, he didn't come up with it, but he came up with it because he has no filter.
Okay, but
he says no filter with it. He just
why does that
slings
qualify you
mud.
for president?
I know, and that's the thing. My thing is
doesn't.
that I've never seen a Republican Party. I've never seen this many people running that don't have political backgrounds, like full political. Is that
Doctors
weird?
and-
Like,
Why is that a good
Ben
thing?
Carson is cool, but I'm like, I'm confused.
Well,
Like,
you're so right, because it's interesting to
It's
me that I
weird.
think I don't believe you can take a person who has notable success in the corporate sector
And put them as the
put them as the
president.
president. And I think that people think that if you have success as a leader of a corporation or corporations,
knowledge of some
that
sort.
you now will know how to run a
Absolutely.
country.
And
I
so-
don't think that's
right,
the
when
case.
I was looking up the qualifications, I was like, wait, this person has no political background. This person has no political background.
So-
I was like, this is weird.
I'm not. So let me play devil's advocate for a second. I don't think that that's what they're trying to touch on as far as like being the president as a leader. They're looking at it as our financial deficit in the U.S. right now, and because
they're rich.
Because they've led businesses to progress, even if they did tank them, even if they did go bankrupt.
That's
they
exactly.
that is-
You just said
I
it
know,
right there.
I know. Hold on. But the fact is, they've done those, and that's what American people are looking for to get us out of the debt that we're in. And they see these people that, she was a CEO of Hewlett Packard. He's Trump.
She
They're
lost
thinking like
80,000 jobs.
But the problem with it, she's lost
that-
80,000.
He's
that would
lost
be-
hundreds of thousands.
I'd be
of jobs.
scared to have that chick representing me. But
that's a
really,
terrible
but
way to
I
look at
think.
it.
What are we gonna do? Because they're not even talking about what you just talked about.
I know, exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
We're
As
getting
opposed
deeper
to
than they
talking
are.
about strategy and what would be more productive and effective. We're not having that
Yes,
conversation.
yes.
We're talking about how you messed up and how you messed up and how you're ugly.
Okay,
And they're
so
high-fiving, and it's like weird.
back to my
Like, it's-
point. Right to what I said.
I mean,
It's
making
all
your
the
point.
It's, this is the point. This right now, what we are witnessing in the Republican campaign right now is all a ploy just to get their face out there. Once they pick the nomination, that's when they're going to start really getting in gear, doing the facts and talking about what they're
but
really
what?
doing.
Okay,
that's the reason Jeb Bush is not doing so well, because he's trying to do it now. He's like, let me tell you what I got going.
He just has to
But no
last.
one cares anymore because really nobody's watching it
So
for
then
them.
He's
how
a
do
Bush
you know
that
that the
speaks
right person's
Spanish.
going to get
I'm
the
done.
nomination? I understand your point very well. It's like once they get there, then they'll work hard. But what if, then it's like, is all of this unnecessary? Like, is all the primary version of this crap?
I think this is going to backfire, because I hear your point, and
get what you're
I get what you're saying
saying.
completely, but I think it's diluting the Republican brand. While I never really agreed with the Republican Party, I did respect. Let's
But there
just
was
say
two different sides.
sides there, but now I'm losing respect.
Okay, so let's
No,
talk
I have
about
to believe
respect.
that
Let's
there
talk
has to be
about
two different
respect,
sides.
Stacey. So, who do we respect in the Republican Party right now, based off of the second round
Donald
debate?
Trump.
Kasich.
Kasich?
Kasich's the one guy.
Okay.
He's the only guy I see.
Which
that-
one is he?
He's the one from Ohio.
Yeah.
He was
Ohio,
a
okay.
governor of
Like, I got
Ohio.
it.
I believe it was Senator. I can't
See,
remember.
y'all
It was,
really
he
didn't
was
like
in
Star
Congress.
Wars.
So Kasich
But-
was the one basically trying to. We need to work together. That was
Yeah.
like his basic mode.
And he was in a and when you look at his background, I do not get how being a business person makes you political. Oh yeah, you should be a politician. No, because you actually have a financial anyway. So he's the one guy who he's in a union state. It's Ohio goes either way. They have strong unions, things like that. He's worked with them before. He took in the Obamacare. Like, he's the one guy I see that Democrats could work with.
Okay, so why is Kasich not?
What is he like?
Not winning.
0.5%.
Because he's using facts.
Yeah. So what
that's
about
irrelevant?
Carson? Because Carson moved
I
up
was
real
gonna,
quick.
I was
My
gonna say.
goodness.
Moved up real
I
quick.
wasn't. Were you like?
They
were
was
you
like,
upset?
who's Carson?
I was upset.
But now it's
Carson,
falling
yeah.
because of the Muslim
I
thing.
wasn't.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
upset.
Carson has no charisma. Number one, as
Yeah.
Donald Trump says, he's got real low energy.
He's
When he speaks, I just don't want to listen.
He's just a very serious person.
Very
I think.
serious, but
Yeah.
he's flat. He runs flat, and I don't
Yeah.
know that you can. He doesn't have what I think is needed to address a country of such
He
distinction.
believes the earth was created
yeah.
in 7 days and it's 5,000 years old.
Wait,
And his comments, he wasn't well prepared when he made his commentary about the Muslims,
Right.
About a Muslim not being, suitable to sit in that office. Although I get what he was saying, I think that he put his foot in his mouth. I think he came forward to only slide back. I don't think he'll recover from this.
Well, he doubled down on it too.
No,
He
true.
doubled down on his own statement, like
And the worst for him was his manager.
It's so
his campaign
funny, these
manager tried to
Christians
defend
who
him.
are acting as if the Muslims want to bring Sharia law, and they want to bring their own version of Sharia law. They just don't want it to be Muslim. They want to end Planned Parenthood. They want to end all these things because it's their religion, and they want to tell you how to live your life, but they're scared of the Muslims.
But this is not supposed to be a conversation for one that is running for
yeah.
Exactly,
I would say
and that's why
that's
he
what
should
the
be
conversation.
eliminated.
That's why
I would say that was not uncomfortable, because I did like Ben Carson's stance, that it was very clear. Because remember, we talked about him affecting what he thought about rap music and blah, blah, blah before I knew he was running. Like back in the day when I was kind of paying attention to Carson. So it's weird because I'm like, how did you become a candidate? Like, it's weird. But anyway, I would agree with Don in terms of he's just a very flat personality. Like, it's not a lot coming from him. Like I said, he's just so serious. He was one of the main people I was like, you have no background in politics. It's obvious. Like, it's weird. Because you're not really there to stand up. You have a couple
How
facts
can
here
you
and
be
there.
the commander if you can't command attention?
It's weird.
That's true. I mean, a lot of people like him though. Like he's
I think he's
kind of
nice.
Well, he speaks to that particular demographic.
know what?
He'll get about 2 votes. It'll be fine.
Guys, he
Oh, God.
believes the world is 5,000 years old.
So wait, can we talk about Scott Walker and like what he said for why he left? Like, do you believe him? Do you
So
not
what'd he
believe him?
say?
Because he said specifically that
Because the Koch
when
brothers
he
pulled out?
maybe
That's what
because his
happened.
funding went bye.
Yeah, that's
his
pretty
funding
much-
went bye.
He was the Koch
Okay.
brothers.
There- oh, yeah,
boy.
yeah.
Like,
And that's why I was like, if you remember one of the shows way earlier, I was like, oh, he's getting that nomination
He's
because the
getting that
Koch brothers
money.
got a
Yeah,
backup.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
And when they took that was
The
that
question
those
is,
teacher
where did they go?
unions.
Who's going to get it?
Right, because they're still gonna put some money in somewhere. Though.
Absolutely. Who's
They're
going to get
definitely
it?
putting money
And
somewhere.
it'll be interesting to watch how that person either soars or doesn't soar.
Do you think it'll be obvious?
Rubio.
I think it'll be obvious.
I think it was gonna be Rubio too. I mean,
That's what I was saying. I was like, do you think
Rubio.
Rubio still has a chance? And you're like, technically.
But I mean,
he does. He's young.
We need 15 people to go away.
yeah.
Well, 14.
Well,
at
you
this
know,
point.
and you know, this is only.
technically.
It's a joke, that's right. The ones that don't rate.
Let's not talk about
wanna
those.
find-
This is only debate 2, though. They still have like 6 more debates before
we look
before
at the
the
Democrats,
nomination.
please?
The
Like-
Democrats actually have 3 debates, I think, through this whole span.
And they
of
want
theirs.
more.
And they're
No,
trying to
Bernie
get-
Sanders wants more. I'm sorry.
Bernie Sanders wants to hear himself talk.
So
yes.
let's keep on the
Yeah.
Republicans for a
He
little
wants to
bit
talk
longer.
about the issues.
What about Carly Farina? What do we think about Carly
I just
Farina?
don't like
Held
this
her
chick.
down.
I don't
You
like
don't
this
like
chick
her?
at all. I don't.
Awful. She's awful. She almost bankrupted her company that she's a
she
great
lost a
business
lot of
person.
jobs.
She lost a lot of jobs.
She
She
lost
couldn't
a lot
even.
of jobs.
She didn't even get CarlyFiorona.com.
She didn't lose a lot of jobs. She killed them.
So how does
Yeah,
that
yeah.
translate?
She made
to,
the decision.
How does that translate to
Being
being a bad president, though?
Because.
It doesn't translate to being a bad one.
Well,
It just
if
doesn't mean
your
you're a good
qualification
candidate
is
for it.
you're a good business person and that's why you should lead the country,
Right.
That's why it disqualifies you.
And these
Same
companies
with
are still
Donald Trump.
hemorrhaging.
He's been bankrupt 4 times. You can't bankrupt this country. We need someone who can stay afloat.
You know why
I Mitt Romney sucked.
why I respect Carly Farina is because she is a very steadfast person. She doesn't.
I don't think she's waved a lot. She doesn't change.
She's not moving. She says what she says, and from start to finish. And I like her in that aspect for a Republican candidate.
I'd like her
Because you
I
think she
probably-
would work with a Democrat
if-
well, or do you think?
I don't know if
won't.
she can necessarily work with the Democrat, which would be an issue being president. But what I do like about her, like if I was to say I have no bias towards Republicans or Democrats, I would pick her as my favorite for the Republicans because she's very like she says what she means what she says.
See, and I think this is a classic case when the strength to me becomes
And
a
she's
weakness.
very political. If you guys saw
She's
in that
smart.
debate, like
She's
they
smart.
were throwing stuff at
Oh,
her.
and
like,
she was
Take this
strategic.
shot.
Okay,
Take
but
this
she
shot.
got a little
She's
too much.
smart.
No. She took a
Stick 'em.
little.
She was throwing them back, right?
Look, I mean, in comparison to like the weakness of like Carson or Bush or whatever Trump was doing, I can get with that because she was a lot
Guys.
stronger than.
And in the sense of it, and she's
She was.
I'm not-
No, she just said things.
No, and in the sense
That
of that,
sounded better.
she's also a woman, and she's holding her own like no other out there.
She is
and
yeah.
she's a woman amongst 14 other
Several,
candidates
yes,
that
yes.
are
But they're
I mean,
going to leave her alone right now because they can't be seen
No,
as.
they're gonna leave her alone because they know she ain't one to play with. She comes hard.
She comes hard,
No.
but there's something about her hardness that makes me not like her. It's something
Why?
Because I think.
There's other reasons to me, but that.
Well, I mean, her hardness. What you say about her consistency, so to speak. I see her being too consistent for an arena that she knows nothing about.
Okay.
I think that there's got to be an area where you're able to look at some things and toil over some things and consider some things. And a lot of people in corporate America tend to be very staunch. Donald Trump is very staunch because they take these convictions, corporately speaking, and they want to transpose them over into this arena.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you don't know in this thing, so you've got to be pliable.
Do you think it's a cover-up for her in terms of, I'll stick here, I'll sound smart or whatever, I'll say this one thing, and then whenever else you ask me, I'll say the same thing, and it's covering up that I don't actually know the answer to what you asked?
Well, because I'm smart enough to also give you different distinctions and spin this thing a little bit so that you'll understand that I'm a little bit more in-depth involved in this, and that is, I wouldn't say cover-up, but it is a mask. Okay.
Well,
it is a mask that looks like strength to some.
A damn good job at it, and way better than Trump's doing.
And I think she's evil.
Well, I'm
just going to go on record and say that.
I don't agree with a lot of the things.
Something about her lips and her chin. I've seen her get mad.
You sounding like Trump right now.
I don't care. I'm not going to call her ugly because I think she's a relatively attractive woman. She's got a good surgeon. But I think there's a little...
That's really funny. I just realized what you said.
No, really. Yeah, there's some stuff that no longer moves on her face. But I'm just... See, I cannot sit next to the comedian. I'm not going in on her, but I'm just saying I looked at her when they were coming after her, and there was this tension that was here, and yet she went right back to that speech, and she never looked at that person to acknowledge them. She looked straight at that camera, and she delivered what she needed to deliver. And there's something about that. I don't want her holding that button in the middle of the night, because she's going to look right there at ISIS and go,
oh God, that is stressful.
I don't like that.
Time of the month. That is
so okay.
I'm not talking about time of the month.
So
I'm talking about just her temperament.
Let's switch just for a second. Let's just switch just for a second. So you don't like her because her hand will be over that red button. So who on the Democratic side did you think is going to be the one that's going to take a little bit more thought into that process if that was something to come up?
I definitely think that's
Bernie
Hillary,
Sanders.
but that's me. I can't go with Father Time. I like Hillary.
Why?
That's just
That's interesting.
You're just choosing not to like him.
I thought you. I'm
he can't command my attention. I don't think he has. I haven't heard anything of him that makes me say, this guy really has looked at the landscape of America and kind of knows what we really need.
Okay.
I just don't get it.
And how come then over 70% of Americans agree on him in almost every issue?
You can't give me these polls without telling me who you actually polled. So a survey.
Rasmussen poll. Just name one.
But
he's beating Trump, by the way, more than Hillary, and he's beating Hillary right now.
But the poll means absolutely nothing to me.
What has Hillary said?
Over 70%.
I want to know her issues because I know
all
Bernie
of
Sanders'
Hispanics
issues.
like him and they love
That's also
him.
because you love Bernie Sanders.
No, because I looked at Hillary's issues too, and she doesn't have any. She finally came out against the Keystone Pipeline. Finally, she finally took a stance. Bernie Sanders, 8 months ago, before he was running for president, said he was against it.
He's been here since the beginning of time.
I hate the pressure of time for them, though. Like, is it so crazy? She took a little. Like the last time we talked about that was probably 2.5 months ago. She can't take 2.5 months to make a decision.
Her head person.
Crazy?
Okay, she's supposed to get rid of the prison industrial complex, and yet the person in charge of her campaign was a former private prison lobbyist.
Absolutely.
What?
I'm with
Whoa, I
Dude,
didn't know that.
yeah, that's a crazy fact, huh? She has lobbyists all over her campaign.
I know that.
She has super PAC money. She has all the things. Why would I trust Hillary Clinton? She's a neocon. She's not even a progressive.
Wow.
Okay, but she's probably still gonna get the.
So
yes, she is, and I'm not going to vote for her.
And that's my thing. So she's getting the
gonna...
nomination. So how, as a person, a citizen of this United States, if she gets that nomination and eventually becomes president, how are you going to work with that? Being,
I'm voting none of the above if it's her versus any
doesn't
Republican.
have a vote.
No, that's not having a vote. That's saying I don't want either of these people, and I'm going to vote on the other issues that matter to me.
Joe Biden for sure.
I think Joe Biden. It was. I told you my thing.
He said on.
I
think it was Colbert's show that when he came. No, he said the emotional toll of son dying.
Yeah. Okay, that's what
he doesn't think he.
But I don't believe he was ever going to run. I believe that he was thrown in there to see how much of the fall off that we had from Hillary was still with the Democratic Party and had not defected to the Republican Party, given all this.
And it did. It went bye-bye. Like no one.
Well,
I don't feel like people talk about Biden the way that.
But we had folk that are now supporting Biden, and I believe that the general thought is that if they support Biden and he's not in the run, then we may have them for Hillary. We may get them for Father Time. I don't know.
I mean, the father.
I don't like this.
Bernie Sanders.
Why don't you like him? I want to know why you don't like him. Give me an issue you don't like.
Hold on, before we start that.
Yeah, you're just slamming him.
Why do we like
Hillary?
Hillary.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you asking me?
Yes.
I like Hillary. Let me tell you why I like Hillary. because Hillary is consistent.
No, she's not.
No, hold on a second. She's consistent even in the areas that decision making makes her inconsistent. I believe there's a consistency there. As you said, can it take 2 months to make a decision? As I said earlier, you don't have to always have a conviction that you stick to. Sometimes you evolve politically. You evolve because you think about it, you pray about it, you bow 3 times towards Mecca, whatever you do, and you then determine, here's where I'm going to stand. I don't believe...
Thank you for giving me the reason I'm not voting for Hillary.
No. I'm not saying that's Hillary's thought. I'm just saying that I make room for someone to evolve in their opinion about things.
If we don't, then what would be...
But when you're asked a direct question over something that's been in Congress for years. It's been asked in Congress for years. It's not like the last 3 months the Keystone Pipeline's been issued.
But Mike,
when she was Secretary of State.
So has same-sex. Same-sex has been asked about for years.
Yeah, and Bernie Sanders was in front of that in the 70s when he said it.
Of course, Bernie Sanders was wherever he was because he's been here for everything. He's Father Time. What I'm saying is that look at how much has moved, how many opinions have evolved over the years so that now we're in a completely different place than where we were. I think you got to leave room for that. You got to not hold these people to just be...
I don't trust people part of the process. The one thing I do love about Trump is he's funding his own campaign. The one thing I do trust about Trump is the fact that he's a dumbass when he speaks his mind. I'll be frank. He's a dumbass. But he doesn't have corporate money behind him deciding what he's going to say.
But listen,
you know who does?
That's a manipulation.
Hillary.
Hold on. That's a manipulation of the process. When you go out and buy a home or buy a car, you're not using your money. You're using the bank's money. It's the American way. But Trump has taken his success and his financial wherewithal, and watch this, and he's packaged it so that now you're impressed by the fact that he doesn't do it the way the system does it. We all do it that way.
I'm just saying he's putting up his money.
You can't be a candidate without a backing. I personally don't know.
But he could have a backing. He could go to major corporations and get that backing.
And anyways,
so did Romney. Romney had the money. Guess what? He still went to super PACs and he still took Coke for the money.
But Trump might be doing it by himself, but at the same time, everybody else isn't. So you have to think about. You have to think of the aspect that everybody's going to be backed by somebody, and we just have to decide who that we like. Feel like they'll take what money that they've given and use it the right way.
Because your money doesn't make you a candidate for president.
Exactly.
Issue by issue, Hillary versus Bernie. Let's go.
I'm not taking you issue by issue.
I have a quick point.
Come on, let's go.
What was it?
Give me an issue on.
To my point, go ahead.
I just have a quick, in terms of like the candidates changing their mind or learning different ways of going about, a same answer they've given. Let's say they've been on the same stance for about 3 years, and then all of a sudden something happens. Maybe Black Lives Matter evolves. They pay attention. They change their mind about what they think about it. Are we open to that? Because that was something that, I'm not saying Scott Walker. I don't even know why I keep bringing him up, but I think I paid attention to him until he dropped. So I know he flip flopped so much with immigration, and I was like, that's weird. But I don't remember being mad about it until. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't even know how I feel about immigration.
You said something very interesting about Black Lives Matter, and I want to touch on that. But before I start that, I just want to say, if everybody likes our show and likes the fact that it's free, we have wonderful sponsors that sponsor us throughout this whole time. One of them is DraftKings.com. Yes. What you got, Mike?
Guys, DraftKings.com, last football season, DraftKings.com crowned more millionaires than any other week in fantasy sports. So if you like fantasy sports, I'm a big fantasy fan. I'm playing Rome more this week.
I'm trying to get into it. I haven't.
It's so fun. But the best part of fantasy is the draft, and this lets you draft every week. Every week you get to start with a new team. You get to bid on your own team. You get to choose your own players. So it's every week you're starting over in fantasy. If you play fantasy,
I wish that was reality.
So you don't
the most crushing thing is week by week. Your team sucks more. But this one, every week you can start again. Let's see, $10 million in prizes are up for grabs, including $2 million for first place and $1 million for second.
I can use $1 million.
We should do it. We should do it as a team.
Dude, they have games as low as like $3 to $5.
Let's talk about it next week, and then we'll be on.
This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. I played it last year. I loved it. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Great. Okay,
and I'm playing this week.
So back to it, and I know you have a point. And
Enter Black is the promo code.
And I hate to veer off, but I'm still battling with this, guys. Is the Black Lives Matter, the minority, what's the word? The minority voter is like not being talked about, except for in bad manners in the Republican debate. Yeah. They talk about the immigration and how they need to get people out and deploy people back to Mexico, but we're not talking, it still has not come up. And yes, it has died down, which unfortunately, that's what happens with things like this. But it should still come up. And I know Jeb Bush made a comment about black voters earlier, and it's just like
free stuff. He's so evil.
So this is my problem with Republicans, is the fact that obviously, from my perspective, my opinion, tell me if you think I'm wrong, but they look at the minorities in the United States and it's on a negative outlook. They don't look at it right. So when we're talking about, how are we going to improve this? How are we going to make this better for the black community, the Latino community? They don't have an answer for that. They have an answer on how we going to kick our ass out of here. That's what it's, and that bothers me so bad.
It's so tough because I always, it's really important to talk about Black lives. It's very important to talk about minorities in general, but it makes me uncomfortable when we focus on it in a race that's supposed to be about American people.
But
American people include. No, I very much agree. I very much agree, and that's what I'm saying by it's uncomfortable, because I'm like, I need you to talk about it, but I need you not to focus on it to the point that it becomes propaganda, and I think you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like I don't know.
See, I struggle even with the whole topic of Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
Because I believe that Black lives have always mattered. When we were chattel, we mattered. And
so
I think that now when we're having this conversation, what we're getting into is the rhetoric that comes up from the passionate responses.
That's all politics is, though, is the rhetoric.
I get it, but here's the thing. I think that we, as black people, and Michael on the side, I think that we...
He's honorary.
No, but right. I think that we have to get to a place where we're no longer waiting for people to validate our frustration.
We're not waiting. We're trying to push it. We're
hear
making an agenda.
Hear me out though. I don't really know what the agenda is as a black man. I don't know what our collective agenda is. I know what some of our department has agendas, but I don't know what our agenda is. When Hillary Clinton spoke with two of the leaders from the Black Lives Matter
after Bernie Sanders,
when she spoke with them, she said to them, she says, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? And they were going on and on about the statistics and things that are wrong. And she says, what are you looking for? And she was encouraging them to look at laws that needed to be changed. And she said very poignantly, if you are looking to change people's hearts, you probably won't do that.
She did.
She said, if you're looking to change people's heart, you probably won't do that. You may change some, but if you change some, we'll be back here 10 years later talking about the same thing. But if you change laws, in other words, if you look at what your objective is and know what it's about. Now, if you rewind and go back to the civil rights, that's what we had to do then. We were marching, we were this, we were that, and then we had to deal with laws. And it was laws that allowed us to become a little bit more empowered. And I think that we have the same challenge
like
today.
The voter suppression laws.
Very interesting point. I wish we could talk about it more, but that is our time. We are going to have to wrap up. I know this is going.
I was about to take a text.
When you talk about something you like, man, you just keep going. But anyways, everybody, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live's Black Tea Party. Check us out next week, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We here. I'm Anthony Martin, Black Fist activist. Check me out. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Let's talk about it.
Yep. I'm your host, Stacey. You guys can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace. I'm also at AfterBuzz doing How to Get Away with Murder.
Ooh. No.
Crazy.
I'm Don Nash. Don's Daily Dose on Twitter. Don Nash at Instagram and Facebook. Talk to me.
At Michael Timon as spelled.
That's Michael Timon spelled out.
Oh my God. We should all just do yours.
Michael J. Timon on Instagram, michaeltimon.com for shows.
All right.
Nice. Thank you,
Peace,
guys.
y'all. Thanks.
See ya.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Who cares about them? There's such a small minority of people. We're talking about
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.